Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. And today I want to talk to you about Frank Martin, the Petite Symphonie concertante, which actually, it's one of the things on this disc. We'll get to that in a minute. This is one of my absolute favorite pieces of music, period. 20th century music particularly. It is a remarkable composition. Frank Martin was a Swiss composer. Do we have his dates here? Yes, 1890 to 1974. He wrote a lot of really good music. I talked about his opera, The Tempest. I've talked about some of his other pieces too. And we will talk about more in due course. But the Petite Symphonie concertante, which I've also made a video about, by the way, is an amazing work. It's written for double string orchestra, harp, harpsichord, and piano. And for that reason, it is very seldom played, because not only is it hard to get a harp, harpsichord, and piano all together on one stage, but it's extremely difficult to balance them. I mean, really difficult to balance them. And most of the recordings of it fail one way or another because they just can't get the sonic framework right. Either you can't hear one of them or another one is too loud, or it seems almost never to work. And for that reason, because Martin realized it was a little impractical, he orchestrated it actually as a symphony concertante, which is fun to listen to, and it's for a big orchestra and it's lots of fun, but it's not as cool as the original. The original just has a special quality from the interplay of the soloist that you can't match in any other format. You really can't. And my favorite recording of it is this one, the one I was holding up before, with Leopold Stokowski. This is on Warner. Leopold Stokowski and his orchestra. It's also in the Stokowski-Warner recordings box, the icon box, or whatever it is. And you may be able to find it separately. You should hear it separately. You should just get that. The work is in two big movements. Each movement has multiple sections, a slow section leading to a fast section, basically. Martin's style is amazing. You know, it's a combination of modal music, tonal music, 12-tone music, jazz, and it all comes out sounding like him. I mean, you can hum this music. You really can. The finale, it ends with a march. Bum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da, dum, bum, bum, ba-da, da, 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 da. I mean, you know, it really gets to you. Even though it's based on a 12-note row, theoretically, or at least parts of it are. And, you know, the thing that's so cool about this performance that just blows my mind is that it was recorded in sometime in like the 50s, 1957 or somewhere around there. And it is still the best sounding recording, hands down, ever made of this particular work, because it's Stokowski. And Stokowski, of all the conductors, was the one who cared the most, probably, about sound, about getting the sound exactly the way he wanted it to be. Now, there were times when Stokowski made recordings of standard repertoire, you know, when the way he wanted it to be was rather bizarre and strange for the work in question. But the fact of the matter is, when Stokowski did contemporary music, he was incredibly careful to try and deliver exactly what the composer wanted, particularly if the composer was still around. And Martin was still around. He had 20 more years to live, basically, when this was recorded. So he was still around. And nobody had more devotion to contemporary music than Stokowski did. So, yeah, there are performances of his of modern things that are a little odd, or that he felt needed help, maybe. But when he ran into a masterpiece, nobody performed it with greater devotion, with greater attention to detail, and with greater concern that the recording should sound exactly right. And the result is still absolutely of demonstration quality. I mean, and it's with no orchestra. It's the Stokowski and his orchestra. It's just a pickup group. But he had those people trained. He had this performance, you know, in his hands, as it were. And it has withstood the test of time. So this is the greatest performance of one of the greatest works of the 20th century orchestral repertoire. And if you don't know it, you really need to hear it, because it is just fascinating. A brilliant, wonderful work with infinitely varied and captivating textures and themes. And it's about 20 minutes long, and as soon as it's over, you're going to want to go back and play it all over again. I guarantee it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.